In case some of you guys haven't heard, I have a lot of stuff that happened to me IRL with family. So uploads have been kind of inconsistent. And I do know a lot of people want to know my thoughts and have me do a review of 2.7. But this is not going to be like my other videos where they're heavily edited and they have a lot of like showing back like things I'm talking about. Kind of just going to be me talking to you guys, telling you my thoughts about 2.7 because I honestly don't have any other time for anything else right now. As among doing the anime content, my Patreon, TikTok, all that stuff is a lot. And so in case, I'll just go over real quick in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about. You didn't hear in any of the other videos or streams. My mother was admitted to the emergency room and she had to do emergency surgery a week ago. She just now, as of recording that this video, a week later, like 6 days later, is finally getting out of the hospital. She's going to be on pretty much a very strict diet and bed rest and stuff for like 3 to 4 weeks. She is the manager for the restaurant that me and my father co-own. So without her there, I'm pretty much doing everything. So my father's pretty much taking care of her and he has another business. So instead of us taking turns, like I work 3 days, he works 3 days, I have to be there every single day, open and close until she gets better. Hopefully she does get better. So I haven't really had time to do a lot of content, to do a lot of streams. A lot of people are like, wow, does Legion's not stream anymore? Because in the last like 45 days, I've probably only streamed like 3 or 4 times. It has been kind of rough. But hopefully when she gets better, things will be back to normal. So I do want to just get that off my chest that this video, I don't have time to edit it. Not the way I did in the past. So I'm going to just be talking to you guys. Maybe there'll be some things on the screen. If I can find it easily and put it in easily of what I'm talking about. But let's talk about Wuthering Waves 2.6 and what I thought about it. Now, a lot of people, now I probably should have recorded 2.6 part 1 before doing this, right? Because it's not fresh in my mind anymore. But a lot of people were disliking part 1 with Augusta's story because they didn't like the part with Murmur's Town. I very much was like one of the few people that very heavily disagreed. I thought Murmur's Town was absolutely necessary. It built upon Augusta's past and character as a whole. Not only just her, but also Angel, aka Galbrenna, as a whole. Come on, there's no way she's not Galbrenna. And it kind of just built up to the false sovereign and anything and everything that's connected to it. And without that piece of the puzzle, things would feel very not important. Especially Galbrenna. Galbrenna, aka Angel, is so much more important now to the story than just some random, you know, bounty hunter showing up. Now, we did see from her initial drip marketing a long time ago where they said that she was returning home and she hadn't been there in a long time. And you also see that in her like teaser at the end of 2.6 as well, where she says, it's been a while, Renacita, right? So I'm very excited to see that part. But yeah, I think Murmur's Town was absolutely necessary. I think the pacing on 2.6 part 1 was very, very good. There's a lot of moments where we were doing like little puzzles or we were doing combat. It wasn't just let's stand around and talk and not do anything else. I think they nailed the vibe of Murmur's Town amazingly. Like it was so well done. The creepiness it gave off, especially if you did the other side quests and hidden quests that you can do, which I think they did an amazing job in part 6. 2.6 part 1. The like, I don't know if some of you guys may not know this, but there's like hidden quests you can do to get treasure chests and pulls. There was like a good 7 or 8 of them that I was doing around the map where you were finding, you know, fighting lost souls of the dead that were corrupted by the dark tide, that were previous like gladiators, stuff like that. There was a lot in the 2.6 part 1. And the vibes that they nailed with the creepiness of Murmur's Town and like everything involved there was really good. The music was amazing. 10 out of 10. The music was phenomenal. And I feel like it's been that way since 2.0. Even 1.3, I think starting 1.3 with Shorekeeper even, you started seeing that as well. I will say Augusta as a character, story-wise, I very much enjoyed. But as a gameplay, I'm going to be honest, I kind of regret pulling her. I pulled her because I loved her in the story and I thought her like animations were cool and like the concept. Honestly, the story is what got me to pull her, right? And the way her design is amazing. And of course, I want to support the game. But If I was free to play, I would have skipped, or I would have wished I skipped, because I don't think she does do great damage, but Zhang Liao did good enough damage for a lightning dealer. That's also another reason why I pulled for her, is because she was a lightning user. But trying to compare her damage with someone like Cardathea or Carlota or even Frolova right now. Maybe it's because my Frolova's S3, right? But goddamn, my Frolova does so much damage. I think that's still my favorite team right now, the Havoc team, with using Frolova with my C3 Cantarella. Very fun team, but right now I did S6 Yuno, and that is probably my favorite character in the game right now, gameplay-wise. But it's not even just like damage. Augusta just gameplay style feels very minute. It's like very monotone. There's only one way really to play her, and I just didn't really like, maybe I just haven't used her enough, but I just really didn't like the I also haven't used her with Yuno, so maybe it'll be different if I pair with Yuno, and maybe it'll feel more fun. But like, her combat as a whole just felt very boring to me if you compare it to some other characters, you know. It feels very much just spam left click, E, and then ult, right? Like, and then swap out. Like, it just felt very like formulaic. Like, this is exactly what you do. You do anything else, you're losing DPS, right? And I know a lot of characters like that. You can say that about a lot of characters, but I feel like you can make some mistakes with other characters, like press E before you do the forte, and, you know, maybe you'll do a little bit less damage if you would have waited till the forte. You know, there's things like that, right? Like, for example, you use her E. Once she gets her forte up, you got that space bar button when the forte is full, where you go into the air and you reset the E again. You E, and then when you run out of her skill again, you hold left click for the forte to use the entire forte bar, which resets her skills. Now, that may be because I have her S6 and maybe she's not like that at S0, but like, that is the rotation you do when you're in her form. And then obviously you liberation right at the end to get the most damage out of it. You know, it just feels way more fun. Like, there's way more things to do with Yuno's kit. And with Augusta, I just felt like I'm just spamming left click, and then when E's up, I'm spamming E, and then I just ult, and that's it. And there's nothing else really to do. But otherwise, I really liked 2.6. I will say, before I got my new busted PC, which the only way I'm getting 240 FPS is with frame gen, right? 120 is fine with my new PC, right? I can get 140 FPS, no issues without frame gen. But I will say, my previous, you know, rig that I had for gaming, because I have one for streaming, which has a 4080 Ti in it, and then I have the new one I just bought, which has a 5080 in it, and that one's for gaming. The one previously was a 2080 Ti. Keep in mind, this 2080 Ti was playing games on max settings with ray tracing on and still getting 60 to 120 FPS on games like Cyberpunk 2077. Okay, I was playing Cyberpunk on stream a long time ago when they fixed all the bugs at 120 FPS on that PC with ray tracing on medium and almost every single setting on high, besides maybe turning motion blur and bloom off and like lowering down shadows and stuff like that, or unnecessary shit. But like texture quality and all that was on max, and it ran 120 FPS, no problem. Games like The Witcher, max settings, no problem. All big giant games with amazing graphics and a giant open world, I've been playing on that PC, max settings, no issues, right? And getting 120 FPS. And then a mobile game on PC, an anime styled game on PC, not even being able to get 60 FPS with not even max settings is ridiculous. They definitely need to do something with the optimization, and the stability of this game on PC is really bad. I can only imagine what it's like on PlayStation 5 or you know, on mobile. I've heard some things in my chat. That is one thing I think they need to focus on. Like, after doing the big finale for 2.7, before you get to the new area, bro, please, the 3.0 area needs to be optimized. When they introduced Septimont, holy crap, I don't know what they did, but they bricked the game for so many people. Like, I think, here's the thing, the graphics right now, or even before they added the foliage, like flying around, right? The graphics right now, I think, are fine. You do not need to increase the graphics anymore. The game looks beautiful. No other anime game looks as beautiful as this game, not even close. All right. So let's take a chill pill with the graphics and ruining the stability for like every PC and every single person playing the game going forward right now. Like I said, now with part 2, when I did part 2, I didn't have that issue because I was playing the game on a brand new 50, 80, and like everything max settings ran perfectly fine. But older rigs, even people with 30 series graphics cards were saying they couldn't even get 60 FPS. That is ridiculous. So hopefully that will make part 1 lose points for me because that was bad. Now I don't feel it as much, so I can't really say anything about part 2 with stability because I didn't feel it. But I definitely felt it in part 1 before I got that new PC. The finale for part 1 was amazing. That fight with Augusta and Rover versus the false sovereign, and seeing that. I also love that like Rover wasn't the person that did it all. It was Augusta. Like we were the supporting role 1,000,000%. Augusta was there. She overcame all of that, and you know, she was able to fight through the false sovereign's influence and the Thermodian's influence and break through and not become the false sovereign, right? And seeing that was amazing. And seeing that giant attack that she did, a giant ass Getsuga Tensho Kamehameha looking thing to destroy the false sovereign was absolutely incredible. I thought the quest from beginning to end was great. I was off the edge of my seat the entire time. I thought they explained things perfectly with Augusta and Angel, and they definitely really well, like they did really well the amount of like teasing for the next upcoming, you know, patch like 2.7, especially with Angel. I loved all the stuff with Angel and Augusta from her past. That was for me, the Murmurous Town thing that everyone's complaining about was my favorite part of the patch. Now, part 2, I really liked as well. There was only one thing that I had an issue with, and it was the fact that the power that Yuno used wasn't really properly explained. Now, I'm not someone that needs that explained, right? But I can definitely see how people would complain about that. I don't need to know how Goku became Super Saiyan. Is it cool to know how he became Super Saiyan? Yeah. But just giving me a vague thing saying he got angry, so he got stronger. Okay, that's good enough, right? He unlocked a new form because he's an alien, and this is a form that aliens have had in the past, right? But we didn't go much further into it than that, right? And then the whole thing would, you know, if you can think of any other anime with some kind of transformation thing, or power up or any kind of power thing, a lot of the stuff is not really explained like that crazily. But like, you know, here's the example, like the Uchiha in Naruto. It explains how the Uchiha can do genjutsu and all these other things because of their eyes, but no one really explains how their eyes are that powerful. Like, we just know they have these eyes. And then further along, you find out, like, oh, they have the power from the Sage of Six Paths. And then that gets explained. But that's not for, like, fucking hundreds of episodes, right? And obviously, there's a lot of filler. But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to shit on them for not explaining the anchoring thing properly, because that might be something that they're setting up for the future. Maybe they don't, but maybe in the future they talk about it more. I'm not going to shit on them for not 100% telling us like, hey, this is exactly how she got the power to anchor the world and anchor the dark tide and all the creations of the dark tide and save everybody. That's the only gripe I have, is that it wasn't really properly explained. But like I said, at the same time, it's very minute, like minor gripe. You don't need to explain to me everything about like a power scaling thing for me to just enjoy and shut my brain off. If you want me to be like, oh my God, I need to know every little bit about the lore, you know, to be honest, there probably is a side quest in the game or some book somewhere, because Wuthering Waves does like to do the whole Elden Ring, Dark Souls type of storytelling with a lot of stuff where things are explained in side quests and books as well. And I haven't done them all. I haven't had time, like I explained to you in the beginning of the episode. Of this video, of why I haven't really had time. So maybe there is some, if you guys have found out anything about the anchoring thing, feel free to leave in the comments down below. But in the main story itself, it's not really very well explained. But like I said, I have faith that maybe in the future they explain it better, and if they don't, I don't really think it's a big deal. I play this game more for the emotions and the theatrics and the cinematography and the music, the gameplay, right? I don't care as much about the lore, as long as it's told in an entertaining way, right? Like if I was watching Dragon Ball Z for the lore, I would have left fucking immediately, right? Like I would have stopped watching Dragon Ball Z a long time ago, dude, right? So I don't really care if it gets explained or not, but that is probably the only minor gripe I have about part 2. I absolutely love Yuno as a character. She alongside Cantarella are my favorite characters in the entire game right now, story-wise. And gameplay-wise, Yuno is definitely my favorite right now. I love her gameplay. It's so fun. The animations are beautiful, elegant. Like hers, the animations in battle are so sexy with the way she's like throwing around the chakram bow blade thing that she has, the moon bow, right? And I just think the music as well was really, really beautiful. The pacing for the quest was really good. This was like a genuine, like I didn't want the quest to end kind of thing. I was sad when it was over, and it was a short 3 hours, but I really have been liking that they've been like separating the patches. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Let me know in the comments down below how you guys feel about the patches being part 1, part 2. I think they shouldn't do it for every single patch, but doing it for the big story moments, it helps like build hype and keep the hype throughout the entire patch. Because now look, we just finished that like last week, and we're like a week away from the next update. We're like a week and a half, almost, what, 10 days away from the new update, which is going to be awesome. I can't wait for Galbrenna. I think the culmination is going to be amazing. It's going to be Avengers Assemble kind of moment. I'm really excited for that. And I have faith that they won't mess it up. And I am very curious to see what kind of teaser we're going to get for the next area for 3.0. Because I'm pretty sure there's going to be a 2.8 with Chisa as well, which I'm hoping that she's going to be the only character and that patch, and we get to save. And I hope 2.8 is a patch where they kind of take a chill pill for a little bit. The events are not as crazy. They're building up for 3.0. They're kind of taking their time, and, you know, taking a break. Not taking a break, but not going as hard on a patch with events and 2 characters and 2 stories. I hope that 2.8 is just going to be Chisa. A couple of very, you know, repeated events like, you know, double drops, maybe a battle event, you know, maybe a flight event, whatever, something like that. It doesn't need to be anything crazy, because I'd rather them take their time and build up for 3.0 and make 3.0 awesome, just like 2.0 blew up the stratosphere of the gacha space. Because man, 2.0 Renacita was probably one of the best patches in gacha history. No joke, man. Like, I thought the finale for part 2 was really good, and I know a lot of people were saying it wasn't really main story, it was more of a Yuno quest, but I guess you could say that, but I still think it pertained and mattered to the actual story, because we learned about the anchoring thing and all that, and more about the Dark Tide. But I agree that it probably could have had a little bit more that pertained to the main story, but it doesn't bother me, because 2.7 is going to be where it's like really insane, and I'm very much looking forward to that. If I had to give this patch a score, man, the only gripe I had was the stability, which was a big issue for me. That made it very annoying. So some of the cutscenes couldn't even like keep up. Like, it was so bad. Like the first one, we first got into that new area, that was so bad in part 1. But it was that, and then like the small little detail of like anchoring not being explained properly, and just like them introducing a crazy power that Yuno has, but not really describing it and like explaining how that power exists, or how she got that power. We know that she got the power from like giving up some of her life force and being able to get that, right? But we don't really know the explanation of how it works, right? But like I said, we don't need to know. It's not a thing that's gonna make me hate the game if I don't get it. But I'll probably give it like a 9 out of 10. This was really, really enjoyable. I think 2 points. I have really high hopes for 2.7. And usually I go in with low expectations, but I have very high expectations for this patch. So I hope they don't let me down, because man, this has been building up for a year, and I really pray they knock this out of the park. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What did you rate the patch? How did you guys enjoy it? Are you looking forward to the future patches? What characters are you looking out for right now? For me, Galbrenna, 1,000,000%. I'm probably going to skip the master, and I know a lot of people are probably like, you're going to skip. Yeah, you know, he's a dude. No, I'm just kidding. It's just I feel like I need to give my wallet a break. It's just been too. I'll probably pull on him for free-to-play currency, and if I get him, I get him. If I don't, I don't. But Galbrenna, I'm going hard. She looks awesome. She is literally Bayonetta. I can't wait. And I will be live for the live stream very early morning, which I believe is this Saturday coming up at 7 a.m. my time. So I will be live for that. I will schedule it on YouTube so you guys can hit the notification button so you guys are notified when the stream is ready. And thank you guys so much for all the support. Everyone that's been wishing well wishes for my mom to get better. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. She is home now recovering, and the worst is past. So yeah, hopefully I get back to normal soon. This happened literally at the worst time. I was supposed to go to Tokyo Game Show this Wednesday. I was supposed to fly out to Tokyo courtesy of a game company that was going to fly me out, and a couple other companies wanted to meet with me. Unfortunately, because of, you know, the way my mother is right now, I did not want to leave. And in case something did happen, and, you know, by the time I got word that she got back home, it was a little bit too late. But even then, she can't go back to work for like a month anyway, so I kind of can't leave or do anything. Hopefully it literally happened at the worst time. Not only that, you know, I have so many games came out. Chaos Zero Nightmare Beta, I barely got to play. I played it for like one day, didn't have any time to play it. Big new update in Persona 5 Phantom X, you know, Wuthering Waves, big update. I've barely been able to stream. We have Duet Night Abyss is coming out this month. We have Chaos Zero Nightmares coming out in October, as well as Duet Night Abyss. So I'm thinking that we're in October already. You know, Trails in the Sky remake just came out. Doing a review right now for the new Atelier game, and that game comes out on Thursday. And I have to get this video done by Thursday, and it's like a 50+ hour game, and I probably only put like maybe 10 hours in. So it's been rough, man. There's a lot going on. This is like the busiest I've been in a very long time, and I don't have time to be this busy. So, and a brand new anime season is starting in like a week, and I haven't done any videos or anything about it yet. So hopefully things get back to normal soon. Thank you guys so much for all the support and hanging in there and still coming through the streams, even though I've barely streamed. I thought when I streamed that story that no one was going to show up, but there was over 700 people on YouTube and like 200 on Twitch. So y'all still came through. I appreciate you guys still coming through and not forgetting about me, even though I've barely streamed like more than 3 times in the last 2 months. It's been wild. I've never been this busy in my life. I'm tired. As you can see, like the dark circles in my eyes. But things will get better soon. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I love you all. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, if you're new here, and ring that notification bell. Be notified for future videos. If you guys do want to see a bunch of content from me, while I'm not really uploading much on this channel until the new Wuthering Waves update comes out, because there's not much for me to do besides me being also very busy, the anime YouTube channel that I have where I post almost daily is in the description and pinned comments down below, and also my Patreon where I post things I don't even post on that anime channel. Almost 100 videos or more a month on that channel on the Patreon, and for very little. So you guys are getting a lot of content for throwing a couple bucks my way a month. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.